Ladies and gentlemen, gamers and adventurers, welcome to a tale as epic as the lands we've explored, the battles we've fought, and the legends we've become. This is the story of the most visited 4-story server ever. This is the story of 4Ancient. Before we dive into the creation of 4Ancient, the most visited and first ever created 4-story old-school server, we first have to talk about why 4Ancient even exists, which leads us to In September 2011, Gameforge launched patch Rise of Gore to all official 4-story servers, and many people did not like the upgrade. But why? There are various reasons why people did not like the update. This is the reason why we set up a poll on our Discord server, asking our players what they think about Gore and what they believe is the major reason 4-story official collapsed. Due to the number of responses we received to the poll, we have decided to simply summarize your responses and present the main criticisms to you. Over time, the upgrade system was completely overhauled, new protection potions were added as well as gemstones with which you can strengthen your equipment, a system built on mostly pay-to-win. In newer 4-story, you can instantly unlock and use all skills available at level 1, making it easier for beginners to get into the game, but also gives you one reason less to level up. In the old 4-story, you had to unlock the skills at certain levels. Combined mission maps. The mission zone war was reduced to a single mission zone. All players were set to the maximum level in this mission war and could play against each other, and the old mission wars were removed from the game. Empty maps. With the patches, some new game modes called Battleground and Battle of the World were added, which in itself is not wrong, but this led to the fact that at the time in normal PvP maps such as Ardeer, He Said, etc., nothing was going on because everyone was in the PvP modes, so the old school feeling evaporated more and more. First and foremost, the overhauls that came with the introduction of Gore fundamentally changed the gameplay mechanics and dynamics. The new content not only altered the existing world and characters, but also introduced imbalances and power differentials that clashed with the original spirit of the game. This drastic shift in gameplay eroded the sense of nostalgia and continuity that long-term players had come to appreciate. Moreover, the introduction of Gore also disrupted the in-game economy and itemization. Long-time players had invested substantial time and effort into accumulating items and mastering the game's economy, only to see their achievements depreciate with the release of the new patches. This devalued the efforts of dedicated players and caused frustration. In conclusion, the decision to introduce Gore into 4-story had a detrimental impact on the game's community. It disrupted the established gameplay, undermined the nostalgia that players held dear, and devalued the hard work and dedication of long-time participants. The lack of consideration for the existing player base and the old-school charm of the game was a mistake that had a negative effect on the game's overall experience. Players wanted to play the old 4-story, the one they loved and used to know so desperately that only a short time after Gore's release, many players began playing on 4-story's first private server, 4-story EG short for Eternia Games, which had a quite early version of Gore running. In 2015, iSuicide Bomber, presently known as Ancient Compiler,
Do you know the way?
also known as the owner of 4Ancient, published the first of its type, true 4-story old-school server. During this time, the 4-story player base mostly vanished. The number of players decreased each week. I played on this old-school server back in 2015 and 2016, and I can say this was the most enjoyable fun I've ever had in 4-story. ABB was a thing back then, but it was not quite as aggressive as nowadays. Peak time was in the evening during Territory War or Castle War, always the same people, guild against guild up to 20 versus 20, and everyone knew everyone. It was truly a fantastic time. However, due to, well, a lot of reasons, the server had to be shut down. This message impacted me hard. But not just me. The entire server suffered from this because, again, this was the only real old school server. All the months I put into the game, into my character, my equipment, and time spent with my friends is simply gone, right? Well, no. Thanks for watching the video. This was only the first part of the journey. The next part will be released in early November. Love you all and have a great day.